Hello, everyone, and welcome to this presentation. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we have Amira Mohammed. Amira Mohammed is a PhD candidate in the UAEU program in Leadership and Educational Policies. She holds a BA and a Master's in Curriculum and Teaching Instructions from the UAEU in the UAE. She is currently working as a lead principal in Sharjah City in a UAE government school. She is a winner of many educational awards, namely the Prime Minister's Medal for Distinguished Schools Principals across the country. Today, she's giving us a nice presentation about leading schools transformation by creating an environment of trust and collaboration. Right? Okay, Amira, I'll give you the stage. Good luck.
Thank you, Ms. Fatma, for the lovely welcoming, and good evening, everyone. I would like, first of all, to thank TESOL Kuwait for having me on this distinguished educational event, Hybrid Conference 2023. At the same time, is it moving the screen? Yes. So first of all, I would like to thank the TESOL Kuwait for having me in this distinguished educational event, Hybrid Conference 2023. At the same time, I would like to express my pleasure and honor to represent my beloved country, the United Arab Emirates, and share one of the successful story and the leading change, especially after winning the Minister of Award for being a distinguished school principal across the UAE and Mohammed bin Rashid Government Excellent Award. In ethnography research, I presented my experience as a leader, teacher, educator, and a researcher. I reflected my voices, feelings, beliefs, emotions, and values based on my humble experiences to make a sense of my identity as a leader. I chose an ethnography research as a methodology of the research because I wish to deliver a message to all promising leaders across the world that leaders should believe on their strength and convert their ideology into practice, which impacts the growth of their educational institution. Here is the outline of my presentation. I will discuss the introduction and give you a background. How did I start my journey of leading the change? And some literature review in the same area, the methodology, result, and discussion. Leading the school change in the United Arab Emirates and all over the world seem to be the main challenge in any educational system, as it requires a careful selection of the candidate leaders who should prove a school reform in all aspects and to meet the goals of the education system. As we all know that school leadership is critical in ensuring the education system effectiveness, both in quality and quantity. A school leader play a major role in creating conducive environment for students, teachers, staff, parents, and other stakeholders. So in my research, which is entitled Leading School Transformation by Creating an Environment of Trust and Collaboration, I put myself as a case of a school principal who, in my own words, recounts my experience of leading the school transformation from an ordinary public school into a nationally recognized within a period of time. So the story started in 2018, when first of all, my current school was not led by a school, the school principal was retired. And the school is one of the secondary school, public school, cycle 3. It is located in one of the northern Emirates in the United Arab Emirates. It consists of 4 levels starting from grade 9 and until grade 12. And it has 4 main streams, general, academy, and advanced stream. The school started in 1993 And based on the school administration records, I found that the school did not go under any renovation and must to occupy with all suitable facility. And also the school retired, the school principal, the previous school principal was retired in 2000, before 2018. So the school was led by the academic affair units who was trying to just to run the school operation in a regular basis, but only documentation, like for example, documenting attendance, students' entry, exits, communication with visitor and parents. And also reports, many records were missing from the school. There weren't any tracking system for the staff since there was no school principal. Students had some behavioral issues which in turn affect their academic performance. School was also poor in network and there was no sufficient facilities on that time. The school policies and documents exist, but unfortunately was not implemented effectively. And of course, there were also other serious issues which affect the almost the atmosphere of the school. From here, the leader of the Ministry of Education, they were looking for a candidate to lead this school, and not to just settle everything on the school, but also to renovate this school, to reform the school, and to reach to a certain stage. Here is the central question of my research. How did I lead the change? How did I grow myself as a leader, being a novice leader in a tough school with all of these mentioned previously issues? How did I dream of the school transformation? How did the school transformation become true? Of course, I looked for many literature review on this area, and I found that internationally, in international context, I found many countries which have similar cases. For example, in the US, especially after the influence of the US report, the Nation at Risk, many schools, they start to re-innovate and to reform their school and to think about the quality of the schools. And also Meyer in 1992 reports issued by Find Committee in Australia resulted in important reform to vocational education programs and to determine focus on establishing graduate proficiency to guarantee high skills and greater employment of graduates. And other of course literature review which is already have done on this area. Coming to the UAE context, like of course many other countries, the Ministry of Education in the UAE has taken very serious action in 2016, and in order to re-evaluate the education system, and they took several steps based on the UAE National Agenda and Vision 2021. So one of these initial or very important steps is to unify the inspection criteria by introducing the school inspection framework in 2016. And this framework comprises 6 performance standards that include students' achievement, personal and social development, and their innovation skills, teaching and assessment curriculum, the protection, care, guidance, support of the students, leadership, and management. So these 6 key elements in the inspection framework provide the school leaders with the guideline for improving teaching, learning with the best possible opportunity for students to learn, develop, and embrace the human values. So here, at the beginning, it was very difficult for the schools on that time to cope with these and to implement this inspection. But by the time they gradually succeed on implemented after several trial and of course practice and understanding deeply these criteria. And those schools who failed to meet this standard, of course, they were accountable for not fulfilling these criteria. I use an ethnography as a genre of writing personal narrative because this kind of research help the reader to understand understand the situation and where the author can express his feeling, emotion, values, everything, and to send a clear message for the reader. So going back to the background I just mentioned, the issues that I experience on my current schools, then as I mentioned previously, that the top leaders, they started to think about a candidate who were able to reform the school in all of these areas. So based on the excellence performance that I have proven in the previous year and the huge trust that was developed among the leaders in the MOE, I was promoted as a school principal in 2018. So I was considered one of the youngest school principal on that period. I was assigned to one of the largest school in Fujairah city. For me, it was a proud and privileged moment to be selected among all of the candidates to work in such top position at the same time. Of course, it was not an easy job for me to lead a school with all of these challenges. But especially that I did not have an experience in the field of school administration. I just worked 6 months in the academic affair units and was directly promoted to rank of the school principal without being a vice principal. However, I accepted the challenge and I promised myself as well as the top leaders that I will do my level best to reform the school positively and productively. They gave me an overview of the school, which was led without a leader for one full academic year, as the school previous principal resigned and they did not find a suitable person to lead at that time. So during my first month, I was just observer. I studied all of the aspects of the school, including the academic affairs, services affairs and student affairs, using different tools such as school report, result analysis, internal and external report, in order to just understand the situation in the school. Of course, at the beginning, I was as well. I was not accepted as a young leader, and I had a lot of people who resistance with the new change, and especially that I was not from the same area. So that was difficult for them to accept me on the school, and of course, many other factors. But just I give myself a time, and of course, I just understand their situation, and just I let it just by the time. I started to establish a good relationship with them, and I listened to them. I listened on at the first 2 months. I just listen more than talking or giving very crucial or very serious decision, because I did not have any clear idea about what's going on. So here, after I gave you a background about the school and how I was selected to this school, then moving to the findings. there are many areas or keys of successful that help me to lead the change on my current school. First of all, dealing with these challenges, because on that time, without experience and promoting to this spot, I feel myself that I was putting in this area, and whether I prove for myself and for the other that whether I am really an eligible person or not. So here is the 4 areas: dealing with the challenges, building relationship and gaining trust and dealing with the challenges, dreaming of a model school and exposure to the environment, and successful keys to the leading change and vision for the future. First of all, dealing with the challenge, I believe on the sayings of John. He says that nothing ever becomes real till it is experienced. If I was not challenged by all of the mentioned situation, I wouldn't have experienced the reality of leading the change. 2 main causes of leading modes, namely learning by committing mistakes and learning from others, made me alert and strong to lead positive change on my education institution. This experience was also supported by experimental learning theory, which explained the importance of learning throughout experience. According to Cherry 2020, this theory was initially proposed by the psychologist David in 1984, who emphasized how experiences influence the learning process. And this theory encouraged me to believe in the fact that experience is the best teacher. I followed a unique leadership style that suits the needs of the learning environment. And I consider all of the factors before I implemented the improvement plan. And looking around me and being on the spot, I realized that the situation at the school will not change unless I take an initial step to transform the school. Therefore, I used the benefits from the whole data that I collected on the first 2 months. Although there were not enough, many important documents and reports like the last inspection report and the school achievement result from the last 3 years, which was not available at that time. However, I had collected from different resources, helped me to at least to figure out the areas of the strength and the areas which need improvement in the school. Another resource of power that made me insist to grow throughout this battle is the inspiring words and the huge trust that was put on me by the cluster manager. I remember that the cluster manager from time to time says that you were selected among all of the candidates to lead this school, and we believe in your capabilities to do it. Building a strong rapport among all of the stakeholders from the beginning of my journey toward leading the change helped me to diminish and the resilience, and I discovered the capabilities of each individual before I assign tasks and post to them. No one is marginalized on this journey. So moving to the next point is building a relationship, gaining trust and dealing with the challenges. When I think of the moment of the struggle at the beginning of my leading journey, I went through a difficult mindset by hearing and seeing different attitudes of the people in accepting me as a young new principal who is coming from different Emirates. I was confused, to be honest, at the beginning about how to build a good relationship with the students, teacher, and admin staff. So for them, I was a stranger, and at that point, and they used to have always hired or the school principal always being from the same area. So for them, so it was something so strange, and they did not accept it at all. I was at that point of my struggle time, I was extended strength by the words of my mother. She always says that it is easy and better to work with unknown people than known. So holding these words as my spirit, I decided to take up the challenge of establishing a good rapport with all of the team members and gaining their trust. And I succeed in achieving that perfect relationship. Because of this positive spread of happiness, I was able to assign roles that were taken up by everyone on a happy note. And we work as a one family, completing all tasks productively, which gives me the confidence to achieve the goal of the leading change in the school. From the beginning of my journey as a school principal, I have been keen to creating very positive school culture. A school culture may defined as the gaining beliefs and expectation evidence in the way of the school operates. Thus, I have started to establish a good relationship with all staff, especially those who used to work with ease and without guidance nor instruction. To put them on one track was very difficult at the early stage. Whatever I asked the administrators, they answered me, we never used to do this, or nobody will check or ask about such documents. So why do we have to do this? Or simply, this is not our job. So I faced resistance from the teacher as well as those who also refuse to do most of the work, which is considered as a basic task in any school. So I was completely understand the situation and I realized that I need to deal with them in a different way. And instead of giving them orders or instructions, I should use a strategy different to convince them to create and in order to create a positive atmosphere on the school campus. So I was aware to follow management with love as the core element in the school. I studied the job description for all of the staff and organized individual meetings with administrators because their roles and responsibility vary from individual to individual, whereas I conducted general meeting with teachers whose job description was the same. I discussed and I gave clear ideas on what is expected from them. And at the end, I asked them to sign on the conduct of acknowledgement. I did not force anyone to work, rather I facilitate the work for them. And I created many tools which help them to do the task required in very easy way. I also used to involve them in all of the work that was assigned to them. After a certain period of time, they started to understand my leading personality, and they acquired many skills and experiences from the new system. The majority of the school members admired my personality and the way I dealt with the parents, students, and the staff. And that was the key factor that helped me to develop a good rapport with all other members in the channel. At the end of the academic year, I was successful in improving the important aspect of the school, which was basically staff commitment, student behaviors, and school performance. And if you notice that all of these were challenges at the beginning of my journey. For me, those aspects were my top priority, which helped me later to reform the school in other areas. The year after, I started to concentrate on the biggest issue in the school, which had a great impact on the learning process. Although I spent a great efforts in establishing productive atmosphere, however, my passion and life mission were beyond that. I had only a vision, and I had a vision in my mind that the school should be one of the best schools in the country. And to fulfill this vision, lots of work need to be done. One of the biggest challenges that I experienced was how to transfer the school from being traditional into a smart school, and how this will affect positively on the improving the learning process. Unfortunately, there were many factors that hinder my dream. School infrastructure was one of the issue. Lack of the staff training, missing white smart board in 5 classes on that time, and inactive account for both teacher and students for the educational platform. Some of those factors can address at the school level, while others need urgent intervention from the heads of the smart learning team and the cluster manager. I made a case study about the school and collected data from different resources such as surveys, LMS reports, interviews with teachers, parents, students. So analyzing all of this data helped me to highlight the key elements, which helped me later to design a well-thought plan to achieve my vision. I sent several emails and contact with many team members in order to help me. Then after a period of time, I was succeed to, after resolving all of these issues by external and internal efforts, I succeed to put the school on a top 10 school across the country in using the smart learning. So moving to the third point is dreaming of the model school. When I think of the school environment with many challenges, I strongly believe that I can change the environment into more productive, but only changing the mentalities of the individual. So first of all, I analyzed their skills, capabilities, and as a result, I came to the idea of modeling them, the usage of the smart learning portal. Every week, I sent the report of the usage, and I witnessed the huge progress as they start to competing with each other. So in case if anyone face any issue on activating such smart portals, I just immediately took an action to fix up the issue. So after a period of time, they improved their soft skills, and they were succeed because they were competing with each other. We succeed to change the school from being a traditional school into one of the smart schools on the area. So later on, as I mentioned at the beginning, that I followed the inspection criteria in order to settle the school into the right track. So I have followed all of these standards during my journey of the change. For me, strategic leadership has shed the light on the importance of promoting technology, innovation. By introducing new research-based technology to enhance teaching and learning process to provide more efficient opportunities for better results. Empowering the teachers to innovate and utilize the new instructional practices that add value to the students' use of technology, and to ensure that information and communication technology is properly integrated within a curriculum, and leading to improve student learning and student-centered teaching method. Therefore, after my school was recognized as being one of the top 5 schools in the UAE in using the smart learning, I was still not satisfied. I wanted my school to become a model school and get international accreditation in 2019. And I was looking for many external opportunities to achieve my goal. And I transferred my knowledge and experience and to be a Microsoft Innovative Educator Expert, MIEE, which I already received in 2015 when I was a teacher. So I started to train my staff on this, and they started to join this platform and to take many take many courses and learn a lot about the MIEE. In 2020, I continued the project, and during that time, I made a flexible plan using the benefit of the Microsoft tools, especially Microsoft Teams and OneNote. So those programs were most powerful program on that time, which helped me to transfer all of the administrative paperwork into electronic media. It saves the huge budget of the school by saving the cost of paper, inks, and other stationery expense. In that meantime, many teachers were very excited to learn and experience the same feeling as their 4 colleagues they already got the MIEE. Later on, after succeeding on majority of the teacher got the MIEE and become certified internationally, then I dreamt that the school should be internationally got the accreditation. So after this tough winning battle and digital transformation, I decided to take a risk and nominate the school to be a showcase school. I work with the SMART team ambassador and prepare an electronic file to show evidence of the eligibility of the school to be listed across the world, as a showcase school. So we collected all of the evidence, and at the beginning of the new academic year 2021, a report about the MIEE and showcase school was sent by the training department from the MOE in the UAE. And I was so excited to discover that my school was the only government school that was selected as a showcase school at the school with the highest number of the MIEE budget holders. So here a picture of celebrating with my team member of getting to recognize a showcase school in 2020. So the significance of this study helps the leader to rethink about their passive leadership style and understand that leadership style and theories that help them to raise up the level of the international standard. Also, I believe that it is the hand of the leader to accept the situation and mold himself or herself to a decision maker that lead positively toward the school improvement process and their respective schools. And driving seat should be held by promising leader who takes up the challenges that would be faced in the tough journey and leading the change, which should be evident by productively reflected in the UAE school. Also, of course, like any research, there are certain limitations. So even though my leadership practices is a success that can be followed by the majority of these leaders in the society, but still each school set up community background, work profile, etc., are different from one place to another, which might stop those minority groups from following the same successful experience. School improvements plans cannot be generalized as a unique, even if it was highly appreciated and structured. But I wish that leaders should rethink about their roles and practices for the better time and for the next generation and the molding them into the best citizen of the country. These are some practical implications. Leaders should be ready to take the risk and of the reality and equipped with the knowledge and the skills needed for the reformation process as we live in a very competitive field. Building a good, healthy relationship among all of the stakeholders, and as a leader, we should gain trust and express a mutual respect that helps them to overcome all of the challenges and facilitates their roles and responsibility on any educational institution, which in turn will open up the door to hope toward leading the change. Leaders should accept the fact that distributed leadership is one of the best leadership styles to achieve to the optimum goal of reaching its heights. And it is extremely important that applying global best practices of the school leadership to understand how leadership can affect school transformation in the region of the world, because the differences in how school leadership is conceptualized, selected, supported, and implemented. And any school leader who dream highly on improving or reforming their school should model their roles, and they should put themselves on the shoes of the other, so that people will make a sense and they will really appreciate and respect those leaders. And finally, reflecting on all of these success keys to leading the change, and it is possible only with promising vision for the future. So the conclusion is my journey of leading the change was full of adventures And I had learned a lot of lessons on leadership, and at the same time, I have discovered myself in this valuable experience. In fact, I was a risk taker, curious and conscious and trustworthy. All of these important skills have helped me to accelerate my professional graph to the optimal more than I expected. What I just narrate on my research paper was just a part of my journey, and I have learned many morals and molded myself to be a wise leader at the same time. The most important things that I have learned that we should, as a leader, believe in ourselves and accept the fact that there is nothing impossible in this life. I will share with you a video of rewarding me as a distinguished school principal in Mohammed bin Rashid award, and just to give you a brief about this award. This is considered one of the biggest government award in the UAE, and all of the sectors competing with each other in terms of the institution and individual. So I was a winner of a medal of minister award for being a distinguished school principal in 2022.
حسن إبراهيم لهبش آل محمد، مديرة مدرسة الشفاء بنت عبد الله للتعليم الثانوي في مدينة كلبة بإمارة الشارقة.
Thank you so much for listening, and feel free to ask me any question.
Thank you so much, Amira. That was very inspiring, actually. Thanks for joining us today. Do we have any questions for Amira? Yes, the meeting is recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube, inshallah. Don't think we have any questions. Amira, you're receiving some messages in the comments.
Thank you so much for your kind words. Thank you those who are writing on the chat, and feel free to ask any question about my research or about my journey of leading the change.
Just to answer one of the questions, what is required to get a certificate? You need to attend at least 4 sessions in total, and the certificates will be given out tomorrow at the closing ceremony. Amira, you have a question here. If you had to give one advice to instructors, what would it be?
Yes, again, I will repeat the same message that you have to believe in yourself and that there is nothing impossible in our life. Leading the school or leading any educational institution is not an easy job, and of course it's full by challenges. Of course, on my research paper, I put details about all of the challenges and the issues that I have experienced. I just mentioned on my presentation very few issues, but a lot of issues were on that time. But the way you need to think out of the box. You need, once you are on the spot, you have to believe in your capabilities and you have to take an action, because if you don't start by yourself, believing on your mission and believing on your vision, then nobody will help you. There are many internal and external factors that affects your vision, but of course, it's you who decide whether to move forward or to stay on the same position.
Okay, thank you, Amira, and good luck on your PhD.
Thank you so much, Ms. Fatma.
Thank you. I don't think they have any more questions. Or someone's asking about your research. How can I get your research?
I am on the process of publishing my research. Once it is published, of course, you will have a copy. And I already sent a copy to the TESOL Kuwait, and the team, they will share it with you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation, Amira. And thank you all for attending. And we have one more session today, keynote speaker. It will start in about, so I'll just copy so we'll start at about 5:30. Here's the link for the schedule for today and tomorrow. All right, thank you all. Thank you, Amira. Goodbye.